Hi, today is part 3 of the shed drawing set, and the first thing that we're going to do is put a roof over our building. And so on the build panel, on the architecture tab, I'm going to select roof, and I'm going to select roof by footprint. I'm then able to use my Pick Walls tool here, which allows me to make modifications by just selecting the walls that I already have. I could certainly also use Pick Lines or my rectangle tool, but I'm going to use Pick Walls. On the green bar, and I'm going to change my overhang size to 12 inches. So even though I'm picking walls, I'm going to have that then overhang by 12 inches. And under basic roof, I'm going to select something else here, and so I'm going to select the wood rafter with asphalt shingle insulated type of roof here rather than just a generic roof. And I'm going to change the type of shingle that is on the roof, and so I'm going to say edit type, and under structure I'm going to say edit, and then where the asphalt shingle is on our assembly browser here, I'm going to select the dot dot dot, and I'm going to come in here and find a different kind of shingle. And I'm going to use these wood shakes. So I'm just double clicking to bring those up to the top. And I can select my wood shake and say apply and OK. And now I have that there instead of my asphalt shingle. And again, I'm going to say OK. And OK again. So now I'm back here. You can see over on the left under the properties box, I'm using my base roof wood rafter. I could have changed the name to this to asphalt shingle too to my wood shingle if I wanted, or wood shake, but I don't. So I'm just going to hover over on my exterior wall here till I get my dashes going around the outside of my building. I'm just hovering with my mouse, I'm not clicking, and I'm going to use my tab key until those dots go all the way around my building, and after they do, I'm then going to click. So you can see that you have triangles next to each of these walls, or lines, and what each of these triangles mean is that there is slope applied to this particular line. And if I were to apply slope to all 4 of these lines, then I would have a hip roof, but what I want is a gable roof, which is what I have on my building. So I'm going to hit the escape key, so I'm back on modify, and I'm going to select this back wall here, and I'm going to uncheck defines slope. And I'm going to do the same thing for my front one, so I'm going to select that front line and check define slope and then hit my escape key. And then my roof goes all the way out front here over the top of my, what I would say is the front porch of the shed, so I'm just going to move that out to the front there. And there's my roof line, and I've got a 9/12 pitch here as far as its height. I'm going to then select check. And I accidentally had created it on my floor level, and so I'm just going to, over here on the left where it says floor level, since I have it selected and it's blue right now, so I'm just going to select roof bearing, and then it jumps up to that level. So you can see it there. So if I go back to my floor plan and I look at my 3D view, you can see that I have a roof and I have walls, but they're not attached together, and I want to attach them so that they are together. So I'm going to go to my floor plan and I'm going to select my walls, and I'm going to do that by hovering over my top one, hit my tab key so I get all 4, and then I'm going to click, and so I have all 4 of them, and I'm going to say attach top or base right up on top here under modify wall, and then I'm just going to click on that roof bearing level, and I'm going to select my roof to be able to attach those two. And then when I look at my 3D view, I can see that my walls have now attached to my building. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my front door in my building, and so I'm going to select door over here under the architectural panel. And the only type of door that is loaded in here currently is a single flush door, so I'm going to need to load an additional family. Over here on the right I can do that under load family. And you'll notice that I have this green bar up that says modify place door. That means that I'm actively doing that right now. So it's going to take me out to the US Imperial files. These are all files that come automatically with your Revit program. And I can double click the doors, and I'm going to want to use the double glass door that has the divided lights in it like this. And so I'm just going to select that door and I'm going to say open. And you'll notice that you get several different sizes with that. We are using the 72 by 78 size, but under the list here you can select from a couple of different sizes that load in with the door. And it depends what side of the wall that you're on as far as which way the door goes, if it will swing in or if it will swing out. And you can always use your space bar if you're not getting that to cooperate appropriately. Again, a door is dependent, so it can only go into your project where you have a wall. You can't just place it in the project. And so you notice that because I could still place another door. If I'm out here on the floor, I get a circle with a slash through it. Because I can't place it here, I can only place it in the wall. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my windows. So under architecture, I'm going to go to window, and we have some fixed windows here in the project, and the size that I want to be using is this 24 by 24 inch window. And this window we're just going to put in the project for right now. But later on we're going to be modifying both the windows and the doors to make those look a little bit more custom. For right now I'm just going to use the 24 by 24 inch window that is provided me there. So I'm just going to put 3 of them in the wall, and I don't really care too much about where they're being located. It gives me some dimensions there. And so then I'm able to use my dimension tool to be able to center those in the wall. So under annotate, I'm going to go to aligned, and I'm going to select the inside face of my wall. I could use the center line as well. And then I'm going to select to the center of each of these windows and to the center line as well. And so then I'm going to select that total dimension line that I've put up there, and you can see that there's an EQ with a slash through it, so right now that means they're not equal. And so I'm going to click on that, and it's going to make them equal, so it's making them spaced apart appropriately. So then this window on these, and then I'm going to change that. Okay, so you can see that they're centered in the wall, and so then I'm going to, and now they're all equal, so it says equal, but I want to move this window out a little bit more, so I'm going to select it, I'm going to move it with my space bar, and then I might get an error message that tells me that the constraints are no longer satisfied, and that's okay. You can just say remove constraints. So I'm just going to nudge this a little bit with my space bar, and then I'm going to just change that to 2 feet. The same thing with this other one down here. I'm going to use my arrow keys to just kind of nudge it a little bit to start with, and then I'm going to change that to 2 feet. Okay, so then I need to create 3 more windows over here, and I'm going to do that using my mirror tool. So I'm first going to select all 3 of these windows. I could do that by drawing a box around them like this, or I could select them individually using my control key, and you can see I get that little plus sign next to my cursor, and I could select them all individually, and you can see they've turned blue. So then I just want to mirror them to the other side. So I'm on my modify windows panel here and tab, and so then I'm just going to select the mirror tool, and I'm going to select the second mirror tool. So there's 2, that one is called pick axis and the other one is called draw axis. We want the one that's called draw axis, so I'm going to select that one. And then I'm going to select the axis by which these are going to flip over on, and in which case is going to be through the center of my shed. And so I'm going to find the center point or midpoint, and I get, when I'm on that, it says midpoint, and it creates a little triangle. And I'm just going to go over to the right at a 90-degree angle, and I'm going to click again. And then now those windows are just placed within that other wall here. On top, I'm going to get rid of my dimensions because they're not the dimensions that I want to use for right now. And there we have doors, windows, and roof.